All right, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. This is Dr. Ephraim. Today's date is December 25th, 2022. If you listen to the sound of my voice, that means you were blessed to see another day. For that, all praise, honor, and glory is due to the Most High God of Israel, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, for now and forever. All right, welcome, everyone. Welcome all my new subscribers and older alike. And if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button and hit the notification bell and select all, so that way you'll be notified every time I upload a new presentation. All right, now this lesson, this is more so inspired by the whole bunch of new subscribers and even some older ones who still have some questions and running into some issues with the DNA test. I'm getting a lot of questions about who to take the DNA test through, what did it do, this and that. Hopefully this video right here will be the end all be all to that, and you'll have a thorough understanding of what it is you have to do once you view this video and can conclude that you want to go ahead and take your test and see what your DNA says or whatever. Now, back when almost 8 years ago now, when I took my DNA test, right, I took one through I took them with a couple actually. One of the ones I took it through was 23andMe, because they actually, as a male, they actually tested for the Y DNA haplotype, and that's what you need to know which bloodline / which nation you come from. But let me say this real quick before I continue. To anyone that finds their way onto this channel about the E1B1A, let me just say this, okay? If you don't believe or understand that that Negroes or Bantus were the ones that went into slavery and were cursed to go into slavery via the transatlantic slave trade by the Bible and all the children of Israel, then this isn't the channel for you, okay? Because if you believe that, then the only thing that needed to be done was to tie that back to the patriarch of Israel. If you believe that the Negroes and that went into slavery via the transatlantic slave trade all over the world, not just America, are the children of Israel, then common sense would tell you that if you believe that, then they came from Jacob. And so basically whatever our DNA is, that's what Jacob's DNA would have to be. I mean, that's just common sense. But a lot of people don't have a lot of common sense, So no, we don't have a sample of Jacob's DNA or whatever. And if you're looking for some kind of answer to convince you of something, again, you're in the wrong channel, man. I'm trying to convince you and nobody of anything. You either believe or you don't. And if you don't, keep it pushing. Simple as that. Nothing lost, nothing gained. Anyway, back to the lesson at hand, my people. This is a very important video. Okay. Um, Now, back when 23andMe was testing for the Y DNA haplotypes, my DNA test actually said flat out that I was E1B1A 7A, and you actually saw that when I took the test. Lo and behold, by grace and mercy of the Most High, I connected dots and put out there that the E1B1A is actually the holy haplotype of the children of Israel. 23andMe changed their format. Again, there was no need for them to do that. My personal belief is that they did that to further confuse um, the already lost children of Israel, who are already confused. Because now, and I'm gonna get into that in a minute. I'm gonna bring that up. I'm gonna let y'all see what my 23andMe test said before the format change and what they changed it to. But it didn't. It doesn't change my DNA. It just changed what it looks like visually when you see it. And so the average, Negro or black person that sees, get a DNA test and they sees a bunch of, EP252, all these different weird numbers, and they don't see the E1B1A, well, quite naturally, they're going to get discouraged and think that, okay, well, they must not be E1B1A, or sometimes it'll say E.M something, something, something. All that's Israel, man. That's just a way to confuse you, throw you off. I mean, it just never fails, man. Every time we get close for a touchdown, they try to move the goalposts on us. That's all that is, man. But I'm going to comprehensively kind of deal with that once and for all today, in terms of the ones who even the females. I have some breakthrough information for the females who may not have access to the father or brother by the father or the grandfather or whatever the case may be. And I've run across a few sisters who just don't have access to the male, for the Y-DNA. But now I have some information for y'all. There's a site that can actually calculate your Y-DNA as a female without a male contributor. So I think that's a game changer. And I talked to a sister this morning, and it put me up on that. And so yeah, I wanted to make sure I was clear before I put it out there, and I'm going to include that. So this is a very important video, man. So before you get your DNA test, let's get into a little bit more information about what to expect, what to do, how to do this and that. Let's get it. All right, yeah. We fight against so many forces, seen and unseen, man. And the so-called powers that be does not make it easy for us at all. But anyway, man, just don't mind me thinking out loud. This is what the screenshot of my DNA test looked like when I first took one with 23andMe almost 8 years ago. As you all can see, clearly it says my paternal line, my Y DNA haplotype is E1B1A7A, which is a subgroup of E1B1A. Okay, that's Jacob all day. All right. So now, well, before I even get to that, the rule of thumb for all ancestors of of people of the Africans from the transatlantic slave trade is the Bantu expansion. Okay, by grace and mercy of the Most High, I uncovered and discovered that the Bantus that the Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary was talking about when it said Ham became the progenitor of the dark races. Um, and then it went on to list those dark races that Ham became the progenitor of, and it listed the Egyptians, the Ethiopians, the Libyans, and the Africans, but not the Negroes. I discovered by grace and mercy of the Most High that the Negroes are the Bantus. So keep that in mind moving forward. Anytime you see Bantu expansion, that Bantu expansion was really a Hebrew Israelite expansion. Now, when I took my test, there's a lot that went on. I even had the similarity map saying Middle East for me with the people that I connect to. All that stuff is gone, man. That stuff is done away. You won't find that stuff anymore. And I have screenshots of it. I actually have videos of this. If you guys want to do the little research right here on the channel, I got videos on all this stuff, man. You won't find any of that stuff anymore, but I got screenshots of everything. Where clearly the original most part of my DNA was in Palestine, quote unquote, which we know that's ancient Judea, right? So anyway, this is what my paternal line looked like when I took the test with 23andMe, and this is what it looks like now. All right, same exact company, man, 23andMe. And now it's fast forward a couple of years from when I first took it. Now it's telling me, Dr. Yehoshua your paternal haplogroup is EP252. What was the reason for changing that? Why doesn't it say E1B1A anymore? There was no reason for changing that. So for all you brothers who took the test and is saying that your paternal haplogroup is EP252, congratulations and welcome. Shalom, elect. You are an Ephraimite. That is the child. You're a child of Ephraim. That EP252 is Israel. Okay. The fact that it doesn't visually say E1B1A, I think that was purposefully done to discourage you, to throw you off, and it's just. I'm gonna just leave that there, man. But in saying that, I'll just say before I move on to the next segment that Um, had I never come out with the E1B1A video, that comprehensive 3-hour video uncovering the E1B1A as the holy haplotype, man, that's of the so-called lost children of Israel, we're not looking at no EP252. Everything would be the same. Why? Because, see, when I did that test, I had to drop with them. See, no Negro was talking about no E1B1A being Israel, none of that before the Most High raised me up. So there would have been no need for them to change it. Think about it. But when that video went viral, and and all over the world about the E1B1A being the children of Israel, lo and behold, the format changes. I don't think that's by accident. I truthfully think that's by design. But when y'all ask me who y'all should take the test through, that's kind of a loaded question, man. And I'll get to that in a minute. But yeah, 20 them people is behind 23andMe, man. But sometimes we have to kind of take the some resources of those who may not have our best interests at heart and use it for our good. And scripture speaks to that. All right, on to the next segment. All right, what you're looking at, my brothers and sisters, I would really recommend you all taking a screenshot of this. Because what you're looking at was basically a Freudian slip. I don't even know if I would call it a Freudian slip, meaning when someone accidentally says the truth out loud, they call it a Freudian slip. Well, when this existed, I don't believe it exists anymore. I did searches high and low for this. This was on FamilyTreeDNA.com, right? Now, Family Tree DNA, they're the biggest DNA company in the world. They have the biggest database in the world. Now, when this right, what you're looking at, when that existed, there was no one knew that E1B1A or accepted that E1B1A was the children of Israel, right? So now, how we got the drop on them is look at this. Look at what they said um, before my comprehensive video by grace and mercy of the Most High of the E1B1A being the holy haplotype of the children of Israel. Check out what it said. Now this is before all that came out. They said this haplogroup, talking about E1B1A. Now remember, this came from the biggest DNA company in the world. It said E1B1A. This haplogroup is predominantly sub-Saharan African and the most common haplogroup among African Americans. And it says this indicates that while this haplogroup E1B1A is certainly not a founding lineage for Jews, it was present in very small amounts at the time of the formation of the ancient Israelite nation. Let me read that one more time, my people. Talking about our haplogroup E1B1A, it says this indicates that while this haplogroup E1B1A is certainly not a founding lineage for Jews, it was present in very small amount at the time of the formation of the ancient Israelite nation. And retrospectively, thank you, Family Tree DNA, for telling the world the truth. Because basically, by them saying that, even though they tried to downplay the Freudian slip, was we were present at the formation of the ancient Israelite nation. Why would we be present? Why would E1B1A be present at the formation of the ancient Israelite nation if we weren't the Israelites? Y'all better stop playing with me, man. All praise due to the Most High. And so I would recommend y'all take a screenshot of this, what you're looking at. I'm gonna leave it up for a little bit. Take a screenshot of that, man. That came from that's courtesy of Family Tree DNA, the biggest DNA data company in the world. And that's what they said about us. Now they're trying to mix it up and they're trying to, a lot of them trying to da. But nah, man, Freudian slip, man. They let it slip. So in other words, by trying to downplay us, saying that we were present in small amounts. First of all, if we were present, what was E1B1A being present at the formation of the ancient Israelite nation? So that means that like after the Exodus and out of Egypt and even in the wilderness, we're talking about the formation of the ancient Israelite nation. If we weren't Israel, thank you, Family Tree DNA, for that. Like I said, I've Googled and tried to find this, man. I haven't found it anywhere. But like I said, when I was on this journey, y'all, when the Most High took me on, I took screenshots of everything. All right. So anyway, that's that. On to the next segment. All right, man. Speak ye the truth and be set free. This is another popular meme. I just been around for some years. I put this together about close to 8 years ago. Given the actual knowledge of the E1B1A haplogroup. You all have to remember, man, this has been an elaborate thing to keep this information from us. Like I said, there, to my knowledge, man, there aren't any, black geneticists, DNA physicists, or whatever that I know of that are Israelites. If you know what I'm saying. So like I said before, we were always at the mercy of what people told us, the information that they gave us. Right, for years they told us that Negroes were from the bloodline of Ham, only to come to find out that was a straight genetic lie. Genesis 10:6 told us who came from Ham, right? And it wasn't us. And our DNA proves that. That's the power of DNA, man. The Africans that went into slavery during the transatlantic slave trade, it wasn't just African Americans, man. We're talking about the Africans in Puerto Rico, in Dominican Republic, in Colombia, in Mexico. We went all over, right? And how do we know that? We know that by our DNA, E1B1A. right? That's how we know we went all over. That DNA is all over the Atlantic, the Caribbean, the North America, South America. And remember, it goes back to the Most High saying He was going to scatter us all over the world, from one corner of the earth to the other. So that shouldn't be a surprise either. So anyway, all that being said, when I made up this meme, I had all that in mind, and I said that this haplogroup was found predominantly among Bantu Negro descendants, to include but not limited to, and I listed some of the people, right? Not all. This is not comprehensive by a long shot. I listed the African Limba, many West African tribes, the Igbo, the Yoruba, African Americans, West Indian, Brazilian, Haitians. Didn't mention the Bamileke, didn't mention the Iwe, didn't mention the Tutsi, didn't mention a lot of different groups that has this predominant E1B1A haplotype. Haplogroup, I'm sorry. And the Bamileke, they actually have 100% that's E1B1A. So that tells us by their DNA data that they're all Israel. So I find that pretty intriguing too. So that's when all that being said is why I made this meme here, for basically for us that tells the truth. I'm sorry, about the E1B1A. On to the next segment. All right. Here is Esau / Edom. And clearly these men are white men. And clearly their Y DNA haplotype is E1B1B1, right? When I would say that we know that Ham, or maybe something a lot of you don't know, but Ham falls up under haplogroup E. So that's a Hamitic haplogroup, right? So when I say that Esau defaulted to E1B1A, there's clowns out there trying to laugh at that and trying to clown it. Well, laugh at this, because clearly you see the DNA and the data. These white men possess the E1B1B1, and clearly they are not African. Okay, they are not black. All right, and that's the beautiful thing about DNA, man. All praise due to the Most High, man, for raising me up with this knowledge to give to y'all. You understand? I take no credit for this at all. All praise, honor, and glory is due to the Most High God, for now and forever. So there you go. There's Edom. There's Esau right there. E1B1B1. What I didn't know is that there are two subclades of E1B1B, and I'm going to get into the second subclade of it. Is E1B1. It's E1B1B1A, I believe it is, and those are your Hamites. All right, there you go. Probably the biggest Hamite of all time, Barack Obama. And like I said, as you can see, look at the data, man. You scroll down to the data, right? He's a Hamite, and this is not just for him. This is for all Hamitic people, and they are E1B1, E1B1B1A, and E1B1B, or E1B1B1. That would be Esau, and E1B1B1A be your Hamites. However it go, man, you can see there's two subclades of E1B operating, and clearly one belongs to Ham and the other belongs to Esau / Edom, and that's how we know that they defaulted to E1B1B, because we have the DNA data of the people and what they look like. We have the DNA data of Barack Obama, and he's a Hamite from the Luau tribe, of what these people look like, what these Hamites look like. You understand? The Most High is not. He's not a man that he should lie. He's not going to give me nothing halfway to give to the children of Israel. I don't know why the Esau defaulted to E1B1B, but I do know that he separated the haplotypes in Rebecca's womb. He told her he was. He's the only one that could do something like that. He said, 2 nations in your womb. I want you to know I'm separating the nations. That's what he did, man. Jacob was E1B1A, and Esau defaulted to E1B1B. Why? I don't know. That's beyond me. But I just know that they did, because we have the data and we have the pictures of what the people look like who possess that Y DNA haplotype. Right? What sense would it make for Jacob and Esau to have the same Y DNA? It wouldn't. The Most High don't operate like that, because clearly y'all don't know the Most High. Y'all, the ones who say stuff like that, y'all clearly have no idea who the Most High is. Y'all don't. He wouldn't do that. Continuity. He would not have his chosen seed having the same seed Y DNA as Esau. Because then how would we know who's Esau and who's Jacob? We wouldn't. Anyway, I'm not going to get into that again, man. But here, I wanted to address that real quick. You see the face of the men the Edomites that possessed the E1B1B, and you see here clearly Barack Obama from the Luo tribe, a Hamite, the E1B1B1A, all both white and black, representing E1B1B. Next segment. All right, and I get asked a lot. Getting ready to close. This is probably the most important part of this presentation. Who would I recommend as far as the DNA test? I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I really don't like to recommend nobody. But the Most High said, he'll make your enemy your footstool, man. He'll take he'll take things like that, what people try to do for harm, he'll turn it around for your good, right? And so we have to kind of approach it from that standpoint because, like I said, to my knowledge, there aren't any Israelite black companies that do DNA tests like this or whatever. So, like I said, we have to take what we got and then take it and move on to get the information that we want. But if you're looking for a DNA to tell you that yes, you're E1B1A and you're Israel, that's not going to happen, man. That's not realistic. It's not going to happen. Again, E1B1A is not recognized universally as a haplo of the children of Israel, and that's the majority of the part of the problem. But again, I go back to Family Tree DNA, the biggest DNA company in the world, and not that I'm recommending them, but they're the ones that basically provided the fraudian slip of telling us who we really are. And I don't think they meant to do that, but that's exactly what they did with this caption right here. That there was a only website for a long time. I can't find it anymore. If it's still there, somebody please tell me if it's there. I tried to Google it. It's nowhere to be found. But I got a snapshot of it. All right, so. Given what my sister told me this morning when we had that conversation, um, and this is important for females who don't have access to the male lineage, because I've gotten a lot of those, believe it or not. For whatever reason, they don't have access to their father or their grandfather, whatever the case may be, and that's what it is. I understand that, right? So what she said is she took a test through Family Tree DNA, and she took her data and uploaded to a site called mytrueancestry.com. And even though she's a female and she didn't have her father or whatever, they was able to calculate her autosomal to her Y DNA, to calculate it some kind of way. They was able to do that to come up with her Y DNA. And let me give you a sample of what hers look like. And this is a female. All right, there we go. And here's a sample of what um, her Y DNA summary looks like. And as you can see, she was calculated as E1B1A. And the cool thing about it is they tell you this is another version. They give us proof that E1B1A is the ones who went into captivity and went into slavery. Because they actually tell you here, which some of the nations that haplogroup was captive under, or whatever the case may be, or went into, as far as being being an E1B1A, telling you it was an early colonial Mexico City slave trade victim. It's telling you the slave trade victim. I mean, that's pretty direct, man. Like, wow, slave trade victim. So that's further proof that we have. I mean, not that we need any more to add on, man. I mean, I'm good, but it's always a good thing to see that we're backed up by by stuff like this, because I mean it's like I said, it starts with your belief in the curses in the Book of Deuteronomy, and the Negroes going into slavery, on ships, yokes of iron on the neck, the whole nine, right? And all that lines up with that like perfectly. So if you're a female and you don't have access to a male, I've gotten a lot of those over the years. The sister said this is what she did. She took her DNA test through Family Tree DNA and took her data and uploaded it to this, what you're looking at, to mytrueancestry.com. Now, I don't have no kind of financial dealings with any of them, but I'm doing the best I can to help you all. Even if you've taken a test as a male, it wouldn't hurt for you to, if you have access to your data, to upload your data from whoever to this mytrueancestry.com. This is a game changer, because before you had to have a male take the tests for you to see what bloodline you came from. But now this right here, this is a game changer, especially mostly for women, because now you don't need your dad or brother by your dad, or even your grandfather, for them to calculate which kind of Y DNA you fall up under based on your data. All right. So yeah, that's it right there, my people, man. We did this, a game changer. All right. So I want to start seeing some some results, man, some testimonies on this. So take this information and y'all run with it. Run with it. All right. Shout out to my sister. She knows who she is. I love you. We'll talk later. And to the rest of y'all, until next time, this is Dr. Ephraim signing off, saying Shalom, elect. Go get them.